G'day guys, the video you're about to watch is just many of my instructional tutorial videos that you can find over on the SleepHQ Academy. Have a great day, cheers. G'day mates, warm welcome to the SleepHQ Academy space. This is lesson numero uno, and today I'll teach you how to use one of these, an SD card, secure digital memory card. Now, before you roll your eyes at me and say, come on Nico, everyone knows how to use a bloody SD card. I can tell you right now, you don't, because if you did, we wouldn't get 1,000 emails every day with people having issues. Okay, so you don't know, so shut up, sit down, and watch old mate explain it to you. Now, first off, why the bloody hell do we need them? Well, it turns out CPAP machines have limited storage capabilities. Yes, they have enough memory on the hard drive to store small file sizes, your summary data, but not enough for the really large file sizes, the high resolution detailed data files. So the SD card, it enables the transfer and storage of large data files. Now, your CPAP device you received from your DME, from your CPAP clinic, it may or it may not have an SD card. They should come with one, but I think the cheeky buggers, I think sometimes they take them out, sell them on eBay or something like that, or maybe they take them out, so you've always got to go back to them to do your downloads. I don't know what it is, but you'll have to check if your device has an SD card to begin with. So where do you find them? Well, I've got 3 models here. I'm not going to go through every CPAP machine. These are some popular ones. AirSense 10. You find it right here on the side where it says SD card. So you just pop off that little cover and you'll see a little slot there. All right, now if you just press in the card, it should pop out, and then to put it back in, you just press it in and you'll hear it click into place. On the AirSense 11, they have a little card cover. It looks like an SD card, it's not. It's just a plastic cover. So to take that cover off, we just press it in again like an SD card and it pops out. Pull that out and then you take an SD card and you place it in like so. All right, pretty easy. With the Dream Station, which side's it in? This side, yep. Just goes in just here. Now, if there's no SD card in your device prior to use, the machine will store only small summary data files to the hard drive. And summary data files are what you get on the My Air app. They're small files, things like your average usage, that number, average leak rates, your AHI, they're just numbers, really small files. However, if the SD card is unlocked and in your device when you use it, it will transfer summary, high resolution, high detailed data to the SD card every 5 minutes. So it will continuously update the SD card throughout the entire night. So although the machine is updating the SD card with those files every 5 minutes right throughout the night, in the morning, it does another analysis where it then adds all the apnea flags. So you need to make sure when you finish your therapy in the morning that you wait at least 2 minutes before removing the SD card. ResMed devices have a small LED right next to the SD card. So just make sure that's stopped flashing and is turned off prior to removing the SD card. This happens all the time with SleepHQ. People wake up in the morning, they're so excited to get their therapy into SleepHQ that the first thing they do, take out the SD card. But what they haven't realized is the machine is still writing to the SD card. It's adding all those apnea flags. So when they do an upload to SleepHQ, they're like, where's all my therapy flags? They didn't give the machine enough time to write them. See, I told you you didn't know everything about SD cards. Now, according to our dear friends at ResMed on their device FAQs for patient support, quote, can my patients use SDHC, mini SDHC, micro SDHC, or SDXC cards with their therapy devices? Basically, any card that's not an SD standard capacity, SDSC. There's a lot of words going on there. No. Secure digital high capacity SDHC cards as well as mini and micro SDHC cards and SDXC cards, do not work with any ResMed sleep therapy devices. Now that's strange because ResMed sells an SDHC card. No wonder you guys are bloody confused. Now, from my experience, SDHC cards under 32 gigabyte work. We use one ourselves for the Magic Uploader. So my advice to you all is this: any SD card, standard capacity or high capacity, 32 gigabytes or below should be fine. All right, but really you want to get a 16 gigabyte one or a 32 gigabyte one. The ones we use for the Magic Uploader, the EasyShare ones, are 32 gigabyte high capacity SD cards, SDHC. What a bloody minefield, hey? And ResMed, update your FAQs for God's sake. No wonder your patients are confused as all hell. And when they want support, what do they get? A computer bot. Put a human on there. Put me on that bloody chat, will ya? So, when we talk about formatting an SD card, all that really means is just wiping it clean, deleting the files. But whenever you delete all the files, the SD card writes a new file system to the card. Now, for CPAP machines, the file system is FAT32. It's just a type of file system. Now, for 99% of you, you don't need to do anything. All right, you'll just be able to buy your SD card, put it in, and it will work fine. But if you're finding that you're having problems, you might need to format the SD card to use the correct file system that's compatible with CPAP machines. FAT. Like old mate here, getting a bit, he's putting on a bit these days, the Christmas turkey. I'll put some information down below that'll teach you how to do a format of a card, all right? It's not too hard. And last of all, here's the best practice for inserting and removing the SD card. You think it would be idiot proof? I can tell you right now, there's no such thing. So first things first, there's a little switch on the side of every SD card. And when the switch is down, the SD card is locked. You cannot put files onto that SD card. You can read them. You can put the SD card in your computer and read the files, but you cannot put any more files on that SD card. When the switch is up, just put it up with your fingernail, the SD card is unlocked. And what that means is you can now put files onto the SD card, you can write to the SD card, and you can also read the SD card as well if you put it in your computer. So when we put our SD card in our machine, we must make sure it is unlocked. The switch on the side is up. So make sure the switch is up. Whatever device you've got, you just slide it in and just push it, and then you need to push it in until you feel it click. You push it right in and you'll feel this it'll make a little noise. And that's when it's right in. You don't just push it in like that, that's not in. It's gotta be pushed in and then you'll hear that. Now in lesson 2, I'm gonna teach you how to take the SD card, put it in your computer and drag the files across into SleepHQ. When we do that, and I'll teach you this later, to remove the SD card, we push in to begin with. So just push in, it's spring loaded. You'll see it pop out and then you can just pull it out like so. Before we put it in our computer, we then want to switch it to lock mode. And the reason being is when it's in lock mode, the computer can still read the files on the SD card, but it will no longer be able to write files. Sometimes when people put SD cards in computers and card readers, for some reason, they have a habit of just adding files to the SD card, little compatibility files, and sometimes it can stuff things up, okay? So just lock it when you put it in your computer, and then when you go to put it back in your machine before you use it, you then unlock it. And I guess this is why the Magic Uploader is kind of so cool. Some people say, oh, it's not that hard to take your SD card out and put it in your computer, drag your files across, put it back in. But I guess it just saves the hassle of just thinking, oh, hang on, I forgot to take the SD card out, put it back in, have I done the switch, and dragging the files and the rest of it, okay? So it is nice to just have this set and forget. You never have to do anything with the SD card ever again. You never have to touch it. And I know they sold out really, really quickly during launch and everyone just crashed the website. We're really sorry for that. We're going to get heaps, guys, so don't worry. Second batch, third batch, you'll get your hands on one. Okay, so that's step one. Step two, make sure your device is either off or in standby mode prior to inserting the SD card. You're supposed to do it when it's off. I haven't had too many troubles doing it when it's in standby mode, but I do know some people have done it in standby mode and it has corrupted the card. They've had to do a format. So if you don't want to have to do that, just switch the power off and plug it in. But for most people, look, as long as it's in standby mode, you can put it in. You don't want to be inserting your SD card while you're using the device with air running. Don't do that, okay? You'll corrupt your card. And step three, like I said before, when you have finished therapy, please wait a couple of minutes for the device to finish up writing the files, adding all those therapy flags. If you just pull it halfway out while it's doing its thing, you could corrupt your card, but you'll definitely corrupt your data, or there'll be missing data when you add it to SleepHQ. And that's it for lesson one, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I told you you'd learn something new, didn't I? And now that you know all about SD cards, in lesson two, I'll teach you how to transfer the files from the SD card up to SleepHQ. Have a great day. Bye.